Removing refined sugar for 30 days initiates a measurable shift across your entire metabolic system, forcing your brain, hormones, and sleep cycles to recalibrate. Medical guidelines suggest a baseline limit of 6 to 9 teaspoons of added sugar per day, but the average person consumes 14 to 20 teaspoons. Most excess isn't from dessert. Manufacturers pump refined sugar into granola bars, cereals, and pasta sauces to make them hyper-palatable. There is a critical biological difference between the sugar in an apple and the sugar in those processed foods. Natural sugars come packaged with fiber, vitamins, and protein, which physically slow down digestion. Refined, added sugars hit your bloodstream immediately. Flooding your system with pure glucose creates metabolic chaos. Your brain receives a massive dopamine hit, activating the same reward pathways as addictive substances. In response, your pancreas pumps out elevated levels of insulin to clear the glucose out of your blood, inevitably triggering a harsh energy crash. Living in that constant cycle of spikes and crashes causes your cells to become insulin-resistant over time. Committing to a strict 30-day reset forces your body to break this chemical dependency and repair those overwhelmed metabolic pathways. The first 24 to 48 hours of this process are brutal. You will likely experience throbbing headaches, deep physical fatigue, and severe irritability. Your mood crashes because your brain is recalibrating. For years, its reward pathways have relied on constant artificial hits of sugar to trigger a dopamine release. Without that stimulus, your brain temporarily struggles to generate motivation and pleasure from normal activities. Down in your gut microbiome, the bacteria that thrive on sugar are literally starving. As these populations die off, they send intense, physical craving signals directly to your brain to demand more fuel. At the same time, your body's insulin response is still on a hair trigger. Your pancreas expects a glucose spike that never arrives, which causes temporary dips in your blood sugar, leaving you feeling shaky and exhausted. These symptoms mirror the flu, and they are the primary reason people give up. But this agony is a mandatory biological response. It is the physiological cost of starving out a parasitic microbiome. This chart shows the stark contrast in fasting and post-meal blood sugar levels before and after a lifestyle intervention. By the second week, your pancreas is no longer working overtime. As a result, your blood glucose flatlines into a much tighter, healthier range. Chronically elevated insulin keeps fat locked tightly inside your cells. As insulin levels drop, the metabolic block on fat storage disappears, allowing the liver to begin offloading stored visceral fat for energy. You will also see a measurable reduction in systemic inflammation markers, like C-reactive protein. This drop in inflammation translates to consistent energy levels throughout the afternoon, removing the biological trigger for the 3 p.m. slump. Moving into week 3, your brain's reward pathways normalize. Simultaneously, your healing gut begins producing consistent levels of serotonin, leveling out your mood and reducing emotional reactivity. Your hormone signaling also comes back online. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain you are full. High sugar intake causes leptin resistance, but as sensitivity returns, your brain finally registers when your stomach has had enough food. By the end of the 3rd week, your appetite becomes intuitive. Your body transitions away from relying on toxic external stimulation and begins running entirely on smooth, intrinsic metabolic regulation. In the final stretch of the challenge, your cognitive focus sharpens significantly. Because your blood sugar isn't crashing in the middle of the night, your sleep cycles go uninterrupted, allowing you to achieve much deeper, restorative sleep. Sugar promotes a process called glycation, where glucose molecules bind to collagen and elastin, making skin stiff and prone to wrinkles. Halting that process reduces acne, rosacea, and signs of premature aging. Physically, the taste buds on your tongue recalibrate. After a month without heavily processed syrups, natural whole foods like berries, carrots, and bell peppers start to taste intensely sweet. Reaching day 30 indicates that your cellular energy factories are operating more efficiently, no longer overwhelmed by constant glucose surges. The long-term benefits reveal themselves in your blood work. Harmful triglycerides drop significantly, while protective HDL cholesterol rises. As a result, your cardiovascular risk plummets. If you do choose to eat a heavy dessert after the reset, your newly sensitive system will react acutely. You will likely experience immediate brain fog, mild nausea, and a sharp energy crash as your body processes the overload. To successfully execute this 30-day reset, the rules are strict. You must eliminate all sugary beverages, vigorously scan ingredient labels on sauces and condiments, and completely avoid artificial sweeteners. To survive the early withdrawal, rely on whole fruits, high-quality protein, and healthy fats. Hydrate heavily to combat the headaches during the first 48 hours. This 30-day reset clears the metabolic noise that compromises your energy and focus, allowing your biology to function exactly as intended.